Welcome back to Timira Samhari, the soul of Bharat. Today, we are exploring one of the most underrated heritage treasures of Karnataka, Manjusha Museum, Dharmasthala. At the first glance, this appears to be a museum near Dharmasthala temple, but within the next few minutes, you will realize that this is far more than a museum. As we enter, we are greeted by astonishingly lifelike wax and silicon statue of Pujya Dr. D. Virendra Hegde, gifted by a devotee. Notice the extraordinary realism, the skin texture, facial perspiration, subtle expressions, and even each strand of hair individually implanted by hand. This statue is not merely an artwork, it is a reflection of a devotee's reverence towards a spiritual leader who transformed Dharmasthala into a remarkable center of service, culture, education, and heritage preservation. Alongside it, the museum presents the timeline of the evolution of Dharmasthala Sri Manjunatha Swami Temple and the development of Manjusha Museum. I'm moving through these panels quickly, so feel free to pause the video and read the details, especially the restoration phases from 1970s onward. Here's the preserved natural specimen, which reminds us that heritage is not limited to human body. Nature too carries memories across centuries. And then comes the first true wow moment, the massive temple chariot. A ratha is not merely a vehicle, it symbolizes the movement of divinity among the people during grand temple festivals. The Simhadwara is breathtaking. Brass lions, gods, goddesses, and scenes reminiscent from Ramapattabhisheka are carved with astonishing precision. The craftsmanship is so intricate that every inch invites a closer look. Look at this extraordinary wooden ceiling. This traditional craft, locally known as Karnamuchige, represents a woodworking tradition that has survived for over 400 years. Every panel is hand carved, interlocked without modern techniques, and designed to endure generations. Standing beneath it feels like standing under a carved wooden tapestry. The hall is filled with devotional imagery, creating a transition from architectural wonder to spiritual ambience. Now we enter the section of massive brass and iron vessels, once used in royal kitchens, temple feasts, and large scale community serving. These enormous containers are designed to feed hundreds and sometimes thousands. You will see the Harati Garitas, Puja Samagri, and ancient weighing balances and traditional water vessels such as Marachimbu. What appears heavy and utilitarian today was once an essential part of everyday life, ritual, and hospitality. This section is incredibly rich in ritual detail. The different Harati Garitas were used for different ceremonial purposes. The Panchapatra and Uddharini were essential in daily worship, while specialized ladles were used to offer Havyam during yagnas. Some of the larger ceremonial ladles are traditionally gifted to brides during weddings and certain regions, symbolizing prosperity and sacred household responsibility. These objects are not merely utensils, they are carriers of ritual meaning. Here we enter the exquisite Jain artistry. The 24 Tirthankaras carved within a single frame demonstrate extraordinary sculptural precision. Each form carries distinct iconographic features, yet together they create a unified spiritual composition. This gallery reflects the deep influence of Jain heritage on the cultural landscape of Karnataka. The Veena-dhari Hanuman, the majestic Lakshmi icons, the enormous brass sculptures look deceptively manageable until you realize their actual weight. The bell gallery is equally fascinating. Conch bells, Hanuman Garuda bells, Panchamukhi bells, and finally the magnificent Vajra bell. Each bell was designed not only for a specific sound but also for a specific ritual vibrations and ceremonial context. Amazing. Till I have entered here, even I was not aware that the bells are of these many kinds. Next, we come to the spiral fossils, which are ammonites, the marine creatures that lived approximately 250 million years ago. Holding or observing an ammonite feels like touching a fragment of Earth's prehistoric ocean. It reminds us that the story of life stretches far beyond human civilization. The museum now takes an unexpected turn towards ancient Egypt. Step by step display explains how mummies were preserved for the afterlife. And this is an important perspective. The museum is not trying to say India and Egypt are the same. Rather, it invites visitors to compare how different civilizations approached death, preservation, architecture, and spirituality. These are the Talapatra manuscripts, the scripts on palm leaves. Preserved the Vedas, Ayurveda, astronomy, mathematics, temple records, and local histories. India possessed a sophisticated system of knowledge preservation long before the printing technology. The miniature palm leaf books displayed here are astonishing examples of precision and scholarship. From palm leaves to movable type, this gallery captures the transformation of how human knowledge began reaching larger populations. The printing press. The mica paintings are mesmerizing. Under light, mica creates a shimmering effect that makes the artwork appear almost illuminated from within. The display of natural dyes and pigments reveals the scientific understanding behind these traditional art forms. The next comes the Musical Instruments Gallery, which is a celebration of Indian sound. Veenas, Rudra Veena, sitar, santoor, tambura, harmonium, clarinet, and folk instruments are displayed in a remarkable variety. Indian instruments are broadly classified into string, wind, and percussion categories, and this section beautifully demonstrates how Indian music evolved through both temple traditions and folk communities. Each instrument carries not only a sound but also a geography, a ritual context, and a cultural memory. In the Industrial Revolution section, the first thing we see are the radios. These are the devices which connected the entire households to the world at one point of time. Before television and smartphones, families gathered around a radio to hear the news, music, and stories. Next comes the most fascinating galleries for the modern creators, the cinematography and the cinema section. The evolution of the cinema from still photography to motion pictures, early cameras, bioscopes, projectors, and film technology is beautifully explained. Cinema is an illusion of motion created by rapidly projecting still images. Before digital filmmaking, movies were crafted through light, celluloid film, mechanical projection, and painstaking manual editing. For filmmakers, YouTubers, photographers, and storytellers, this gallery feels like a pilgrimage to the origins of visual storytelling. It makes you appreciate how extraordinary modern video technology is. We can find the replicas of Kolkara performers and the life size Yakshagana figures that capture the vibrant performing traditions of Tulu Nadu. These are not costumes alone, they represent living storytelling traditions that continue to thrive in coastal Karnataka. The Industrial Revolution section also shows telescopes, microscopes, typewriters, telegraph systems, Morse code devices, sewing machines, and early telephones, which trace the evolution of human communication and technology. And this line perfectly captures the essence of this gallery. For today's generation, calculations happen with a tap. But this gallery shows the era when every number moved through gears, levers, and human precision. Calendars, astronomy, traditional calculations, charkas, antique clocks, steam irons, lanterns, kerosene lamps, kerosene stoves, and even kerosene powered fans are displayed here. Many children today may even not know what a kerosene lamp is. This gallery is invaluable because it preserves the technologies that shaped the daily life before electricity became universal. Throughout this section, some past memories flash through. The rhythmic clatter of typewriters once echoed through banks, courts, government offices, and newspaper rooms. What we now do instantly on a screen once required mechanical ingenuity and remarkable human accuracy. This section compresses nearly a century of technological evolution into a single visual experience. One can also see different types of locks, keys, and hand bolts in this section, and how they evolved over a period is equally astonishing. Next comes the furniture gallery. Organized storage boxes, dressing tables, dining sets, carved doors, cradles, Pandiri style beds, the intricately crafted sofas reveal the sophistication of traditional domestic design. The crystal section is equally captivating. The Buddha crystal appears to glow differently as the viewing angle changes, creating a striking play of light without any visible illumination beneath it. Different kinds of crystals, which reflect in a different way according to the angle of the light, that is, the patterns of reflection, refraction, and polarization, are beautifully explained and displayed here. The ceramic gallery reminds us that even a simple pot can reveal an era, trade routes, firing technology, cultural practices, and food habits. We also see the life size Tirupati Balaji dhoti, the oldest form of dental chairs, grinding and pounding instruments, traditional locks, and finally the magnificent miniature model of Mysuru Palace made completely of matchsticks. By the time I completed this museum, one realization became unavoidable. Do not treat Manjusha Museum as a quick stop near Dharmasthala temple. Its large campus, multiple thematic galleries, dense information content, photography opportunities, and suitability for children, students, researchers, artists, and spiritual travelers easily justify at least 3 to 4 hours of time and even an entire day. And perhaps the most powerful realization of all this is Manjusha Museum is not a place where you simply look at objects behind the glass. A typewriter speaks about forgotten offices. A film projector explains the birth of cinema. A palm leaf manuscript whispers the memory of ancient scholars. A temple chariot carries the weight of centuries of devotion. A fossil connects us to a world that existed millions of years before humanity, and a mummy invites us to reflect on how another civilization understood life, death, and eternity. In many ways, this museum is a miniature archive of human civilization. I entered expecting a quick stop near Dharmasthala and left realizing that I had traveled through centuries of human creativity, knowledge, faith, science, and imagination. This is the true magic of the Manjusha Museum, Dharmasthala. It does not merely display objects behind the glass, it invites you to travel across time. A short video of 2 minutes is not sufficient to explain its grandeur. This is Timira Samhari, the soul of Bharat. I hope you enjoyed traveling with me through this museum. Please share your comments below on how you felt. and do like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned to Timire Samhari for such more exciting videos.